To walk in the footsteps of Johnny Unitas would be any quarterback's dream. And only the best get to hoist the trophy that bears his name.
It's something that is very, very, very special to me.
Each year, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award goes to college football's top senior quarterback. It honors excellence, character, tenacity, and extraordinary accomplishments.
Throw to fade, try to stop it, folks. Just try to stop it.
So join us tonight as we salute Graham Harrell and the spirit of Johnny U. It's time to go out of bounds for the 2008 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award presentation. The historic Tremonts in Baltimore is the site of a grand gathering this evening. Sit back and enjoy your backstage pass to the Golden Arm Gala out of bounds. Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Murphy. Welcome to a special edition of Out of Bounds. All season, we have partnered with the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Foundation and its major sponsor, Transamerica, to bring you the Race for the Golden Arm Award. It was a great competition, and it was not easy to pick the best senior quarterback in college football. But when the Golden Arm Committee voted, it turned out there was a clear choice, a quarterback in the winning mold of Johnny U. And when we heard it here first on Out of Bounds, we were not surprised.
2008 Golden Arm winner is Graham Harrell from Texas Tech.
The quintessential moment for Texas Tech quarterback Graham Harrell was his last gasp touchdown pass to Michael Crabtree that gave the Red Raiders a win over top-ranked rival Texas.
Deep strike, got the big man, Crabtree, pulls free, and touchdown, Red Raiders with a second to go.
That was impressive. But how about this? In late November, against Baylor, the senior brought his team back for a critical win, despite an early injury that shattered his non-throwing hand.
Has time again, throws deep in the corner, touchdown, Texas Tech.
Harrell's stats were mind-boggling all season long, but the Golden Arm Award honors more than just numbers. It's about leadership and character, and when you combine performance in the clutch with productivity under pressure, this young man from the Lone Star State comes up large on all counts. And Graham Harrell is no one-year wonder either. He's had an amazing college career, throwing for over 4,000 yards in each of his last 3 seasons. If he throws 2 touchdowns in the Cotton Bowl, he will set a new NCAA record for TD passes. He's led his team to 28 wins and 3 bowl appearances. And he is here live from the Tremont Grand in Baltimore, the 2008 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award winner, Graham Harrell of Texas Tech University. Hey, Graham, thanks for stepping out of bounds with us tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a huge honor.
Well, I'll tell you, there are a lot of college football awards out there, but to win the one that is named for a Hall of Famer like Johnny Unitas, that's got to be pretty special. What does that mean, the Unitas legacy, mean to you?
Oh, like I said, it's a huge honor, and like you said, to win an award after named after one of the greatest players to ever play this game is such an honor, and you know, I feel so blessed to be here, and I'm so thankful to the committee and to the foundation and to Mr. Unitas Jr. for choosing me. And you know, like I said, it's a huge honor, and I'm so proud to be here.
What was it like when you got that phone call earlier this week to let you know that you'd won the Golden Arm Award?
It was really exciting. I got a call from a number I didn't know, and my media relations people told me, if you get a call from a number you don't know, answer it. And so I did, and you know, he said, "This is Johnny Unitas Jr." And I was like, "Wow, Johnny Unitas Jr." You know, it's such a name that you've heard so much, and you grew up idolizing players like Johnny Unitas, and my dad always told me stories about how great of a player he was and how he was my dad's childhood hero, and to get a call from Johnny Unitas Jr. to say I won an award named after his father was just such a great honor, and like I said, I was so proud to receive it.
Very, very cool. And I know your mom and dad are there tonight, your coach as well, Mike Leach is there. Got to be special to share all of that kind of football history with them as well.
Oh, no question. You know, my parents have supported me. You know, well, my dad was my coach, so I grew up and learned the game of football from him, and they've supported me throughout my college career. And I've played for the best college coach in the country under Coach Mike Leach, who you know, does so much with the players he has, and has turned Texas Tech into a nationally recognized program. And he's just the best there is. There's no question about it. So, you know, I've learned from 2 of the best coaches, you know, in my opinion, there is, from my father and Coach Leach, and the rest of my support, you know, my assistant coaches that have coached me throughout my career. And to be able to share this this great honor with them is a special moment.
Absolutely. All right, Graham, let me explain to you what's going to happen next. We have a group of hardcore football folks here on the show. They all want to ask you questions, so I'll introduce them to you, and then we're going to let them fire away. So sit back and relax as I do that. This guy was a pretty darn good quarterback at Maryland. Honorable mention All-American as a senior. Played 8 seasons in the NFL. Scott Zolak is here. This gentleman used to chase quarterbacks, but don't worry, Graham, he's pretty gentle nowadays. Gary Cobb was a linebacker at USC and for 10 years in the pros. Brian Startari hosts the football show on Sports Radio WIP in Philadelphia, and we all know how they love their quarterbacks in Philadelphia. And Lou Holder is a fixture on the football scene in D.C., covering the Redskins locker room for the better part of a decade. So, Graham, we're going to put you in the middle in a place that we call the crosshairs and let our gang blitz you with some questions. First up, it's your fellow quarterback, Scott Zolak. So go ahead, Scott.
Graham, first of all, congratulations. Good luck at the next level. It's funny you mentioned your dad.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's funny you mentioned your dad and having Johnny Unitas as his hero. That was kind of my first question. I grew up in Pittsburgh, running around out in the backyard. I tried to emulate guys like Dan Marino, Joe Montana, guys from your hometown. Who was the one guy that you idolized the most and why?
Joe Montana. Growing up, I guess being born in the middle of the 80s, it was kind of the Joe Montana era, I guess, and watching as a little kid football with my dad and my older brother. Joe Montana was the man to me, leading great come from behind victories in the fourth quarter, winning Super Bowls, winning Super Bowl MVPs. To me, Joe Montana was the man I wanted to be, and was the quarterback that I wanted to be. So he was my childhood hero, I guess. I grew up idolizing him, wanted to be just like him. Remember playing in the backyard, like you said, being Joe Montana. So he was such a great player, and he was like I said, my role model or my sports hero.
Graham, congratulations from down here in Washington, D.C. Your coach was very outspoken about you not being invited to the Heisman ceremony up in New York. Your take on it, I mean, how do you feel about the quote-unquote snub of not being invited to the Heisman ceremony? Does it bother you at all?
No, not too much. We had a great season, and we feel like that we've had as good of a season as anyone in the country. And the Heisman Trophy lately has been going to just one of the best players on the best teams. And with that criteria, I mean, if you're going by that criteria, every team in the country has lost at least one game, and that's all we've lost to is one. So we feel like we've had just as good of a season as anyone, and I feel like we deserve to be, mentioned for the Big 12 championship earlier and for national championship contention and things like that. And we kind of got overlooked on that, and then getting overlooked in the Heisman again was, just another one of those deals that I think has a lot to do with the politics of college football and there being major programs or traditional powerhouses that get a lot more attention than schools that aren't traditional powerhouses. So that's the way college football goes. But all these other awards that I've been recognized for, and being here at the Unitas Award and winning it is such a great honor. And not going to the Heisman Trophy ceremony or BCS Bowl game, it doesn't take away from the great season we've had. We've had an excellent season. We've won 11 games at Texas Tech, something that's unheard of out in Lubbock. And and like I said, we have a big Cotton Bowl game, and that's a first-class bowl where they treat you right. And we're getting recognized. Crabtree won the Blitnikoff last night, and won the Unitas tonight. So some of our players are getting recognized and I guess representing the team with these national awards. So we are getting some recognition and things like that. But we have been overlooked in certain areas that we would have loved to have been in. But that's the way college sports are, and the way the system's set up right now. And there's not much you can do about it.
Graham, first of all, congratulations with the rest of the panel. But I personally want to thank you for making the Big 12 such a phenomenal conference this year with Texas Tech. I mean, I think it superseded the SEC in exciting football. And that being said, let's go back to your comments just a little bit where you talk about the Big 12. There is Texas and there's Oklahoma. And I heard you say about the football powerhouses. Well, Texas Tech had one hell of a season this year, and I think they've had quite a run here. And you talked about how good Mike Leach was. What's it going to take to change the perception to make Texas Tech a powerhouse in college football?
Oh, that's a great question. Like you mentioned, those other schools like Texas and like Oklahoma, our traditional powerhouses have been, they win 10 or 11 games every year. So winning that many games at those schools really isn't proving that much, I don't think. And winning 11 games at Texas Tech is doing a whole lot just because of the tradition of college sports. But in my opinion, they should measure each year as a new year and give everyone an equal shot. But that's not really the way it is, in my opinion. In my opinion, that when all things are equal, the traditional powerhouses are always going to come out on top over schools, like Texas Tech. But in order to get to that set, I mean, they do win 10 games, it seems like, every year. In order to get on that level, Texas Tech just has to continue to have years like this. And Coach Leach has done a great job building that program. And if he decides to stay at Texas Tech, he will only continue to build the program and continue to win football games like he is right now because, like I said, I think he's the best coach in the country. And, I think that if Texas Tech can build off this season, continue to win 10, 11 games every season, then they'll start playing on a little more even playing field with Texas's and with Oklahoma's of the world. And, have a chance that when, they've had as good of a season as anyone in the country, have just as good a shot as going to the Big 12 championship or going to a national title and things like that. But we're trying to get Texas Tech to that level, and I think this year has really helped it. It really helped the program get national recognition, and we still have a long ways to go to be on the same level as some of those other great schools, but it's going in the right direction.
Okay, Graham, I've seen you make all the throws this year. I mean, that back shoulder throw you just made to Crabtree. Look at the throws. I've seen you stick it in there, go with the deep ball, touch passes. It seems like you can make all the throws. Now, I know you guys look at each other play. Now, how do you think you stack up with the other guys, McCoy, Bradford, and Tebow as a pure thrower?
As a pure thrower, I mean, if you go on stats alone, I'm just as good as any of them, I guess. But those players are great players. There's no question about it. They deserve all the recognition they're getting, and they've really helped their teams have great seasons, just like we've had down at Texas Tech. So, they're great players just as well, and like I said, deserve all the recognition they're getting. But if you go on wins, Texas Tech has just as many as any of them. I mean, before obviously the conference championship games. If you go on statistics, we put up just the same numbers as any of them. So, I think myself and the other players at Texas Tech and the program deserve to be recognized on an even playing field. But, they're coming from programs that win more games than us, on a year. I mean, I guess traditionally. So, like I said, they get a little more attention, I guess, from the media and things like that. Texas Tech has never been a big media darling or anything like that. So, it's tough to play on an equal playing field with those guys. But like I said, I think we match up fine with them. I mean, we beat Texas head-to-head this year. We've had a great run, and, it was a great season. And we look forward to, like I said, playing in the Cotton Bowl. Like that's one of the best bowls in the country. They treat you right, and it should be a fun game for us.
Graham, when you put up those type of stats in 1 year, which is basically a career for some guys, you get under the microscope more, and people tend to analyze and dissect you. And you look at some of the former quarterbacks under Steve Spurrier; they've been called, system quarterbacks. What's your take on some of your detractors that may say this guy's a system quarterback?
If it's just our system that allows us to have success, then I've said it before, then there should be 117 coaches knocking at Coach Leach's door and learning the system and putting up the same numbers we're putting up. Because, we're putting up big numbers statistically and points and scoring lots of offensive points, having great seasons, winning lots of football games. And if it's the system, then I don't know why everyone in the country doesn't come talk to Coach Leach and learn the system and do it just as well as we do.
Graham, I want to go back to what you said about Joe Montana earlier, wanting to be him in the pros. It reminds me of Brady Quinn 2 years ago who said, listen, it was a dream of mine to play for the Browns, and now I'm there. Put yourself after the Cotton Bowl. You're going into the NFL draft. When you were back in the backyard, whose helmet did you have on in the NFL?
Well, I probably had the 49ers on just because Joe Montana was there.
You don't want to go there.
A little later. If it was a little later in my career, I guess I was wearing the Chiefs helmet because
you may want to go
Joe
there.
in his career there. But if I got to choose, I would love to go to Dallas and play at home. Or I like warm weather, so I'd like to stay in the South. But I'll play anywhere they'll take me. So if they give me a shot, I'll be glad to go play there. Well, thank you.
You got it.
Brian's already got it all figured out, Graham. Graham, you are out of the crosshairs right now, but before I let you go, I do want to point out, sitting here and listening to you, it is so evident, but maybe some people don't know that academics obviously a huge part of what you're all about as well, an academic All-America. Talk a little bit about that as you finish up your college career.
Like you said, this Johnny Unitas Award doesn't only recognize you for your on-field success. I mean, that obviously plays a huge role in who wins the Unitas Award, but it recognizes off-field successes as well, leadership in the community, I guess, and academics. And, it's great to really be recognized for, the positive things that athletes do off the field. A lot of times you see all the negative negative stories on SportsCenter or on you know, any sports show that are in the newspapers. They point out all the negative things that are going on with athletes. But you know, there's plenty of good things going on, and athletes doing things right. And it's great to be recognized for doing more than just playing good football. You know, doing things right in the class. You know, I graduated in 3.5 years, so I graduated last December, and I've been working on my graduate. You know, I've been taking graduate classes. You know, I've had a 4.0 in graduate classes. So, you know, school's very important, and football's not going to last forever, and you better have a backup plan. And if you're getting paid to go to school, I mean, if you're getting your school paid for, you might as well take advantage of that opportunity, get an education, so you can have job opportunities when your playing career is over. So, you know, school, like I said, it's great to be recognized for more than just on-the-field success.
Well, Graham Harrell, you certainly have been, and we appreciate you stepping out of bounds with us tonight. Just like the guys before you with this Golden Arm Award, certainly a perfect candidate. Go enjoy the party tonight, and once again, congratulations on the award.
Thank you very much. It was my honor.
All right, Graham Harrell, your 2008 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award winner. We have a great hour on the way with two Hall of Famers scheduled to speak tonight. Raymond Berry and Sam Huff are headed to the podium, as well as some other special guests from the Baltimore Colts golden era. Plus, Texas Tech coach Mike Leach will say a few words, and Graham Harrell will accept the 2008 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Last year, we gathered at the Tremonts to celebrate Matt Ryan as the 07 Golden Arm winner. He's done all right for himself since then. Here's what Matt Ryan said when he took the stage to accept that trophy 1 year ago.
It's really an honor for me to be inducted, or not inducted, but chosen as the award winner this year, and to become a part of a fraternity of great quarterbacks that have so many qualities that I hope to have in myself, and it's something that is very, very, very special to me.
This Out of Bounds special presentation of the 2008 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award is brought to you by Transamerica, by Black & Decker, by Dunbar Armor, by Mortgage Seekers, and by MedStar Health. Out of Bounds and the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Educational Foundation wish to thank all of our sponsors for a great 2008 season. The Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award has gone to some pretty fair quarterbacks in the last few years who have added Super Bowl rings and All-Pro credentials to go along with their Golden Arm hardware. Graham Harrell should feel pretty good about joining this crowd tonight. Hey, welcome back to Out of Bounds special coverage of the 2008 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. I'm Greg Murphy. The award celebration is about to begin at the Tremont's historic venue in Baltimore. So let's take you there right now and hand things over to our master of ceremonies for the evening from the Fan 105.7 Radio, Scott Garceau.
Thanks, Murph, and welcome to Baltimore, everybody. Tonight we're here to honor the legend that was John Unitas, and a young man that is now part of that legend. And I think for all of us in this room, John touched us in some way, whether it's a family member, teammates, fans, and friends. Somebody has been touched by number 19 and the legacy that John has left with us. And tonight we honor a young man that's going to continue that legacy. He's done some spectacular things on the field. He's being honored for that, but he's also being honored for the type of person he is. And all of us who knew John know what a special guy he was. We'd like to recognize some of his former teammates and special guests that are with us tonight. And we start with some Hall of Famers. And the first Hall of Famer for the Baltimore Colts, the man sitting right here on the end, Art Donovan. Artie? And John's favorite target for a lot of years, a man who had a wonderful game and had a lot to do with the Colts winning the greatest game ever played, Hall of Famer Raymond Berry. Next, a man who chased John on a lot of Sundays while he was putting together a Hall of Fame career for the New York Giants, now part of the Washington Redskins broadcast team, Hall of Famer Sam Huff. And a man who spent a lot of years doing in baseball what John did for this town in football, the man who invented the position at third base, good friend, Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson. And we have with us three Colts from that that 70s era that won 3 straight division titles, linebacker Stan White. Safety Bruce Laird. And the man who kicked it through the uprights, Tony Linhart. Take a bow, Tony. Right now, I'd like to call on the president of the Golden Arm Foundation and the son of the Golden Arm, John Unitas Jr. John?
Well, thank you, Scott, for the introduction, and thank everyone for attending. I appreciate it, and the foundation does also. It's great to be here this evening to celebrate the accomplishments of a very gifted quarterback who just completed an outstanding year. Graham Harrell epitomizes all that my dad envisioned and is established for the Golden Arm Award. Excuse me. He recognized that being a great quarterback and a great person did not depend solely on his on-field accomplishments. It also depends on your character, your leadership abilities, and your off-field achievements, both as a citizen and in Graham's case as a student. I think it's important, though, that all of us recognize this award. This award is about more than recognizing the accomplishments of an outstanding young man. My dad never forgot his humble beginnings. He always believed in giving back. This is what won him a place in the hearts of everyone whose life he touched. Part of his legacy and his commitment to give back was to establish the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Educational Foundation, and it was also what we're here with tonight to celebrate. The Golden Arm Foundation promotes football on all levels, including providing financial aid to deserving young athletes such as Graham. To date, the foundation has awarded more than $500,000 in scholarships to deserving young students in both Maryland and Kentucky. It is your continuing commitment in sponsoring this event that is helping to make my dad's dream a continued reality and making a difference to a scholar athlete to whom award scholarships are awarded each year. With that in mind, I would like to thank our many sponsors who have made a financial commitment in order to make both this evening and the scholarship awards possible. I first want to thank the Tremont Hotels, Tremont Grand. As you can see, it is a wonderful facility. They do a wonderful job from soups to nuts, from a combination of our guests and our athlete, and we appreciate it very much. Next, I want to thank Union Memorial Sports Medicine, MedStar Health, Lou Lyons, Harry Ryder, Les Matthews. We appreciate your continued financial support. Black & Decker, Century Engineering, Citigroup, the Bodiford Chorus Group, Dunbar Armored, Maple Leaf Title, Mortgage Seekers, Southwest Airlines, and of course, I can't leave out Transamerica, which I'll get to in just a minute. I would also like to recognize the many organizations that provided in-kind assistance also to the Golden Arm Foundation. CN8, the Out of Bounds program, we thank you for being here again, which has been our promotional partner throughout the college football season. CN8 has given extensive coverage to our awards process, and as you can see, the network's Out of Bounds program here tonight is broadcasting this ceremony live. My Ad Box for providing the RSVP services and the collateral material. R2 Integrated, which handled graphics as well as our website. Weiss PR Associates, which has provided my public relations and national outreach media tonight, and as well for the foundation throughout the year. And of course, again, I can't forget the Tremonts. And finally, I want to recognize, as I alluded to earlier, our presenting sponsor. Without them, quite frankly, we wouldn't be here. Transamerica has been an incredible supporter of the Golden Arm Award and the foundation. They truly have done what my dad did, and that is give back to the community. And in doing so, like my dad, they have won a permanent place in the hearts of all of us who have been touched by the work of the Golden Arm Foundation. Murph, I think we're going to take it back to you.
Good, John. I don't know if you can hear me. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, the presence of the Baltimore Colts that we saw there, the alumni at the event, always brings the legend of Johnny Unitas to life again. And on the 50th anniversary of the Colts' historic championship, it is a thrill to relive a great era in football. And our Jeff Sharilla is at the Tremont tonight, and he is standing by with a Hall of Famer, Art Donovan, who always has plenty to say. Right, Jeff? What do you got?
Thank you very much, Murph. I am here in the crowd with Artie Donovan. First of all, what does it mean for you as the first Colt to ever go into a Hall of Fame to be here with one of your former teammates handing out the award for the Golden Arm Award, to see that here tonight handed out to Graham Harrell?
Well, the guys in inducted me into the Hall of Fame didn't know what the hell they were doing. Okay? I mean, the Hall of Fame. Yeah, the guy alongside him is a great end. The other guy is a great football player.
You're talking about Raymond Berry and Sam Huff, but talk about Johnny Unitas and what it means for you to be here tonight honoring him with this award.
Well, if you really want to know the truth,
go ahead.
When John Unitas came to the Colts, I think it was 56, okay? And we were in the training room, and I'm on a training table getting my feet scratched. And I look over, and there's this skinny little guy over there. And I said to the trainer, "Who's that guy?" He says, "It's a guy from Pittsburgh. He got cut by the Steelers, and he's trying out for the Colts." I said, "How the hell can he try out for the football team? He's a quarterback. He's got a bad shoulder." I said, "He'll never make it."
Well, on that note, we certainly know the rest of the story. We've got a lot more going on here in Baltimore. We'll have the Graham Harrell accepting the award coming up from here in the hotel room. Thanks, guys.
Still to come tonight, Hall of Famers Raymond Berry and Sam Huff step to the microphone, and Texas Tech coach Mike Leach shares his thoughts on Graham Harrell, plus the presentation of the Golden Arm Award and words from the winner. It's all straight ahead on this special edition of Out of Bounds. Baltimore's Tremont's historic venue and all-suite hotel is the place to be tonight for the 2008 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award presentation. The program continues with keynote speeches, so let's send it back to the Master of Ceremonies, Scott Garceau. Scott?
And welcome back to the 22nd Annual Golden Arm Award. We heard from one Hall of Famer in Art Donovan. Now we'll hear from another. This man retired as the all-time reception leader in the NFL. He was voted to the NFL's 75th year anniversary team, and in the greatest game ever played about 50 years ago this month, he caught 12 passes from John Unitas for 178 yards. As a coach, he coached the Patriots to the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, John Unitas' friend and favorite receiver, Raymond Berry.
Graham, this award, as you figured out by now, has a lot to do with John Unitas. And I think you need to know something from a guy that knew him a lot of years of what he represented as a football player. I think the number one characteristic that John brought to the job was mental toughness. It was woven in with a tremendous confidence that he had and a great competitive spirit. And he was an instinctive football player also. And as a teammate watching him over, playing with him 12 years, we took for granted really how unselfish and team-oriented he was. He was interested in winning the football game and could have cared less who or what or how we did it. And everybody on the team knew that. And you know, I'm talking about a quarterback that, you know, in the history of the National Football League, is certainly one of the top 2, 3 that ever played the game. But I haven't even mentioned physical attributes at this point. And one of the things that, in observing quarterbacks over a long period of time, I've come to the conclusion that if you're looking for a guy to win a world championship for you, you start down that list of intangibles before you even fool around with the physical. And you know, I've been watching your career at Texas Tech, and y'all seem to throw the ball every once in a while. And You know, when John Unitas was in college, they had unusual offense for their day in which he threw a lot. So you've definitely got the physical skill. That's been very obvious. And I just, as I assess you and watch you over the last couple of years, I'm thinking, I think you've got all these intangibles too. So do you have an agent at this point?
Thank you, Raymond. That was a man who played with John and knew the dedication, the hours that they spent after the rest went in for practice, working patterns and throwing the football, and the subtleties of the game made them both Hall of Famers. This next man can give us a little different perspective because he was on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. Oh, let's go back to Murph first. Let's go back to Murph now, and then we'll hear from Sam Huff. That's coming up. We're going to hear from another Hall of Famer in just a minute. Presentation coming up shortly. Right now, we'd like to introduce another Hall of Famer. As I said, a man who played on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and he had the difficult job of trying to stop John Unitas, Raymond Berry, Lenny Moore, and that Hall of Fame Baltimore Colts offense. A Hall of Famer in his own right, and pretty special. He is a member of the National High School Hall of Fame. He is a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, and he is also a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, great linebacker and current broadcaster, Sam Huff. Sam?
Well, thank you very much. It really is a pleasure to be in Baltimore. I don't give a damn what people say. Okay? This is nice. You know, why in the hell did you have to bring Artie out here? Where's your Schlitz beer, for Christ's sake? Okay? I mean, look at him. That's what happens when you drink and play. I mean, Artie. No, hey, I just want to say, truthfully, John Unitas is the greatest one I've ever seen. And he never ran out of the pocket, which is, I love that. He was no Fran Tarkenton, let me tell you. I chased that little sucker all over the field too. Never did catch him, but I did catch Billy Kilmer down in New Orleans when he was when he was running quarterback, and I hit him so hard I knocked him into the air, into the Gatorade table, broke the Gatorade table. Gatorade flew all over us, and the whole New Orleans Saints team plus the owner jumped on me and were pounding the daylights out of me. That's what linebackers do. Okay, we create havoc, and that's what we do. We never knew how to play John Unitas. It was unbelievable. And I remember calling the plays, defensive plays. That's before they stuck a radio in all the ball players' ears now so the coaches can call it, which I think is the worst thing anybody can do. And if I was this young man, when they do that to you, just, it's out of order. You got to call your own plays, okay? Start from the beginning. That's my advice to you. You're going to be responsible, then you be responsible, and you call your own plays. Don't listen to a guy that never played the game, standing on the sideline, okay? We have enough of those guys that can kick the ball sideways and get it, never play the game. Don't hit me, you know. You're going to be that kind of guy. You don't want to get hit. Stay in that pocket. Don't be like Fran Tarkenton and try to run everybody to death. You stay in that pocket, and you don't listen to that offensive coach that never played, okay? Okay, that's my advice to you, because there's a guy that played this game by the name of Dick Butkus that would put you in 4 rows of seats in Wrigley Field, right? Sam Huff would put you in the stands at Yankee Stadium, and Ray Nitschke would knock you out of the ballpark in Green Bay. And you don't want to play in any of those stadiums, but you don't want to go up against those kind of linebackers either. So stay in the pocket and don't listen to that coach, okay? John Unitas didn't listen to the coach, who was Don Shula, right? And I'll tell you what happened. He didn't play John Unitas in a Super Bowl that Joe Namath won against, okay? He didn't play John Unitas. I was there. The Colts were 17-point favorites over the Jets. Joe Namath, the son Baker, out on the beach, don't worry about it. We're going to win this game. And I said, he's crazy. You know, he's built just like John. He couldn't fight off a linebacker or a defensive end by that. Joe Namath, he likes the beach. The Colts will kill him. I was as wrong as Artie, right? And Earl Morrall plays, and John Unitas sat on the bench, and I'm sitting in the stands. And I didn't bet on the game, but I would have bet that the Colts would win the game. And they didn't, okay? And they got beat in one of the greatest games, biggest upset, I think, in the history of sports. Because why? The coach didn't play the quarterback. And when you have that kind of direction, football games are won by players, not by coaches. And I don't care. Is a coach in here? I don't care. Okay? I don't care. Now they got a radio in the linebacker's ear. I mean, yeah. I tell these linebackers, don't listen to him. Stan White. Can you imagine putting a radio in Stan White's ear? He's just like me, a little crazy. That's what makes you a great linebacker. But, you know, you don't want to run a ball because we're there, okay? So that's advice that we give you young, okay, young. They say, well, you're not so tough. Artie's told me that all the time. He tells me, oh, you're not so tough up. Well, you know, that's one of the things, you know, that you put up with from a defensive tackle, right? What defenses did he ever call, right? Oh, gotta go get the passer. I gotta go get the passer. Well, Marchetti already has him down. What the hell are you rushing the passer for? I mean, this is over 50 years ago, and I tell you this, not one person in this room that cannot give you the starting lineups of the Baltimore Colts and the New York Giants. The starting lineups. And I'll tell you what, I broadcast the game the other night, and Bruce Laird is here, and Stan White is here. I bet you without their notes, they can't give you the starting lineups of the Ravens. Okay? They have to look at the public relations releases that they put out so these guys can broadcast the game. Because you don't know, you don't know who's playing football anymore. I mean, guys going on the field, off the field, you know. That's why they have their name on the back, so they don't get them confused anymore, right? We didn't even have that, did we, Artie? We didn't have our names on the back. We didn't want anybody to know who we were. Yeah. Wake up, Artie. Shake his chair, will you? Hey. No, hey, listen, I just want to say this to you. This is a young man here. Stand up and let the people see you, okay? Would you please stand? I mean, I saw him last night.
Well, we could sit there and listen to Sam Huff all night. We'll rejoin the festivities in just a minute. The best is yet to come when we come back to our special edition of Out of Bounds. We'll hear from Texas Tech coach Mike Leach and award winner Graham Harrell. He's the reason we're here, Out of Bounds, at the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award presentation. Stay with us.
Second down now. Deep strike. Got the big man. Capture. Pulls free. And touchdown. Red Raiders with a second to go.
The field of contenders for this year's Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, of course, very deep. Chase Daniel of Missouri took his team to the Big 12 championship game. What more can Brian Johnson do of Utah, undefeated this season? John Parker Wilson brought Alabama to the brink of the national championship game. And, of course, Pat White, the prolific runner and passer at West Virginia. What a season he had as well. You got to hand it to the Golden Arm Foundation Committee. Not an easy task at all picking this year's winner, but in the end, I think they got it right. Graham Harrell just a few minutes away from accepting this year's award. So let's rejoin the program in Baltimore. Here's our host, Scott Garceau. Scott?
Now it's time to hear from the man who had the pleasure of coaching the Golden Arm Award winner. He is in his 9th year as the head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Their season isn't over. They still got a bowl game to play, but it's been a wonderful season, 11-1. And when you come from Texas and you got to win over Texas, that's a pretty good season. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Graham's coach, Mike Leach.
Well, after hearing all that, just for the fun of it, I think I'd kind of like to see Sam Huff hit Graham Harrell, because we could kind of clear out the middle of this room, and Graham could run backwards a little bit, and Sam could have his fun, and I think we'd all enjoy it. And then after that, we'll let Art Donovan get his licks in too. I want to thank everybody for having us. I want to thank Kathy and Sam, Graham's parents. Sam Harrell's a great high school coach in the state of Texas, which some of you may not be aware. And so, part of my work was done when Graham Harrell came to my place. He knew how to throw the ball well, knew how to attack defenses, and through some of the tremendous training of his father. There's a lot of stories about Graham. I mean, biggest comeback in the history of college football, and then, just really a good competitor. And we throw a ball against Texas, which, contrary to popular belief, we work on it every day. And for lack of a better description, you throw it to the cheek away from coverage and let him turn and go straight upfield, and he executed that to perfection to beat Texas. But his composure at key times has always been amazing to me. And and then the most recent game, he breaks 2 fingers, and holds the ball, and the guy whacks him, and he breaks these 2 fingers here. Well, we don't know if they're dislocated, but he says, hey, I've got to call a timeout, and one's this way and one's that way, and I said, well, we don't want to waste it. He says, yeah, I know, but my fingers are broken, and so then the trainer comes over, and the trainer says, oh, it's just dislocated, and he says, I'm going to pull on it. And Graham says, no, it's broken. I'm telling you, it's broken. It's wiggling around. I said, well, go ahead and pull it. What do we got to lose, and so he yanks on it, and so finally Graham says, I told you it's broken. And I said, well, so do you want to come out? He goes, no, I'm not going out. I said, well, just in case, get Potts over there to warm up, and he says, it'll be all right, I just can't go under center. I'm thinking, well, you never go under center anyway. Anyway, long story short, he came back, did a masterful job, tore him up, and then the other thing that really gives me pleasure, I was checking to see if he had his name on the back, but what that really gives me pleasure as far as being at this award, I mean, there's awards all over the place named after all kinds of people, and with rare exception, most of them are pretty good awards. I can think of one that I have some reservations about, but this particular award here is named after the best player, so it's probably the best award. Johnny Unitas is better than all those other players that the awards are named after. So this is the best one to get, and I'm very proud to be a part of coaching the Johnny Unitas award winner, and so it's my pleasure. But I think that we'll have the opportunity to see him play for some time to come. Anyway, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. I love the way you fight for your guys, and good luck in the Cotton Bowl. Right now, it's time to present the Golden Arm Award, and we've heard a lot about this young man. The numbers speak loud. 15,429 passing yards, 130 touchdowns. He's breaking all kinds of national records. A quality player, obvious. 11-1, the win over Texas, the Cotton Bowl coming up to finish his college career, but a quality player, and most of all, a quality person that John Unitas would be proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2008 Golden Arm Award winner, Graham Harrell. Graham? There's also a nice ring that goes with. Graham, can we get you? John got it in his pocket. We'll hold that for you so you can get over here and say a few words. Graham, thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Johnny Unitas Jr. and the whole Unitas family and the foundation and all their sponsors for bringing us up here and treating us so well. And like Coach said, it's a huge honor to receive this award. Especially considering it's named after one of the greatest players ever to play the game. I can remember growing up, and all Dad talked about was Johnny Unitas, and Johnny Unitas was Dad's hero. So, it's a huge honor, and I'm so grateful for it. And we had a great season this year, and I think that my teammates deserve just as much credit as I have. But me and both Crabtree have been getting a lot of recognition after the season. But I think we're just representing the entire team and the success we had this year. And it's an honor to represent those guys. And we look forward to playing in the Cotton Bowl coming up. And I would like to thank also my parents and my coach, Coach Leach. My family have been so supportive to me throughout it all. And, I've been coached by two of the best coaches there are. My dad, I think, is one of the best high school coaches in the world. And Mike Leach is the best college coach in the country. What he's been able to do with Texas Tech's program is unbelievable. And, he's the best there is. And so I've been coached by the best coaches, and they deserve a lot of the credit for me standing here today. So once again, I'd like to thank Mr. Unitas Jr. and the entire Unitas family for having us up here today and treating us well as they have.
Graham Harrell entering the proud tradition of Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award winners, a line that includes both Manning brothers, Carson Palmer, Brady Quinn, and Matt Ryan a year ago. Great stuff, and we'll be back with more reaction from Baltimore on this very special edition of Out of Bounds, so stay with us.
Come back. Beautiful fake. It's for the fade. The big man tries to get to Harrell. Does not. Touchdown, Red Raiders. That's like stealing, folks. He's going right back for it. Touchdown, Red Raiders.
And a quarterback for Harrell is in. Yes, touchdown, Texas Tech. The hardware has been handed over. Graham Harrell has said his piece, and we are nearly done here at the 2008 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Stay with us. Some final thoughts. The special Out of Bounds continues. And if you're wondering who may be here next year, an impressive group of seniors is waiting in the wings. Colt McCoy of Texas says he's staying in school, and while others may declare for the draft, we guarantee you there will be plenty of talent to make the 2009 Golden Arm race very, very fascinating. We want to thank the key players in our coverage of this year's Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. Of course, John Unitas Jr. and the Golden Arm Foundation. Transamerica for sponsoring our weekly updates and college football reports, and the other season-long sponsors right here on CN8. Thanks to Graham Harrell for stepping out of bounds with us and the guests and speakers who made this such a terrific evening. And thanks to all of you for watching. Now, for all of us here Out of Bounds, I'm Greg Murphy. Thanks for joining us for a special edition of Out of Bounds. We'll see you on Monday.